Hey, how are you? Happy Wednesday, right? Happy hump day. Christmas is just 2 days away. It is the 23rd, 22nd. Yeah, December 22nd, Wednesday. How are you, folks? It is great to see you. Wednesday, right? Oops, turn off the noise there. And jumping out for the Mañana morning check-in today. A couple of cups of coffee, nice bowl of cereal, work going on here. And yesterday I told you I was optimizing 3 different websites for graphics. And then I've got a page speed tool that I'm looking at to see if I'm increasing the page speed or not. Examining these WordPress sites to see how I can make them load faster for both the Mañana project and for a client. And it's going pretty well, so it's really interesting to play with file sizes and load times and things like that in a site. A lot of times when people are developing their own websites, they'll say, well, I want this to be a full resolution image. I want this to be, and we have these ideas that the end user is going to derive some kind of value or impression from the stuff that we put in our websites. Hey, buddy. Flapjack's out here with me today. Good boy. And so we put some kind of unquantified value into what the end user is going to experience in the site based on the density of an image, right? Or something like that. And in reality, it couldn't be further from the case. People want the site to load quickly. They want it to, they need something, they want something, they want it now, they click it, they want to see it. And the more that we can reduce that friction for the end user, the more successful these products will be. Now, in my client site, she still has a couple of headers where she was pretty stern about, she wanted the full graphic immersion, right? She wanted the headers that if people clicked on those headers and they went to like a big monitor or something like that, that the images would be crisp and clear. And so when you look at the page speed report and you come up, say it's like 0 to 100, and you get a page speed report of like 75, 76, and then you compare that to other sites, especially in her genre and in her niche, she's doing really, really well. So I'm not saying to get rid of all the bells and whistles. You want certain things to happen in your website. You like the advice that comes back for page speed analysis will say, hey, you can reduce these JavaScripts. You can reduce the size of these images. You can reduce, the amount of plugins that you use on your website. You can, add some CSS to change the, what loads on the page and what doesn't. Do you want to lazy load the images or not? And there's all of these choices. And sometimes, just being real, you're like, no, like I want that on my website. Like I designed the website with that there for a reason. I want this form to work. I want this animation to turn. I want, and as long as you are making those decisions and you're going, this is paramount to how I want to communicate with people. And that you might sacrifice a little speed to do it. That's okay. I mean, let's face facts. If we had a website that loaded, like a 99, right, a 98 or a 99, it would probably look a lot like Craigslist. And we don't want to market ourselves with things that don't have any imagery or feeling, right? And so there's a compromise. And working with that compromise to me is kind of a fun challenge. And so I did that yesterday, did that again this morning, really dialing that in. And then once it gets warm enough outside, I think I'm going to go back and start working on the camper van some more. I've got some wiring to do. I've got some solar to install on the roof. I've got a vent fan to install. And looking forward to 2022, it's like daydreaming about, where is this van going to take me, right? Texas, Northern California, Colorado, Idaho, North Carolina, Florida, Maryland, Pennsylvania, maybe even New York, and then up into Canada. And so it's really fun to take a look at, hey, these are some really cool ways that business and kind of like personal dreams kind of blend together. So, I encourage people a lot when it comes to entrepreneur stuff. I encourage people a lot when it comes to developing your own thing and chasing what you want to do. And I think that might be one of the reasons why Vaxpreneur is such a heartfelt thing for me. I didn't build Vaxpreneur to be a money thing. I built it to be a, help people where they're at thing. And so it's interesting to see people signing into Vaxpreneur and seeing what we have to offer there, seeing the different resources we've put in place, and knowing that we're working on, pardon me, pardon me, other resources that will go into the resource area to help people with, how do I take an idea from idea to something? How do I go from something to website? How do I go from website to product? How do I go from product to distribution? How do I go from distribution to profit and efficiencies? And it's really fun to bring in other experts and have discussions about these things and add that as a resource for people coming into that market. So I know I sound like I'm a little sectioned off today, but that's how my brain's working today. I'm very sectioned off. It was, family stuff, computer stuff, van stuff, future planning stuff. And, folks, I hope that as you are getting ready to spend the holiday with your family, that you are able to figure out how your brain works, compartmentalize things, or throw it all in a bucket, however it works for you. But get done those big tasks, get done those big things before Christmas, so that you can actually unplug, enjoy time with family. And if Christmas isn't your thing, that's all right. Enjoy the space and the time and the tranquility offered to you in the moment, and try to avoid things that just add that just add angst to the day. I mentioned Vaxpreneur already, and a couple of the stories that have come through Vaxpreneur have been like, my family invited me for Christmas dinner, but then uninvited me from Christmas dinner. Or my family invited me to Christmas dinner, but then asked me to come to breakfast instead so that I wouldn't contaminate people at dinner. And this is regarding like vaccinated versus unvaccinated, had COVID, didn't have COVID. It's just crazy out there. And I want to encourage people to take some of the crazy out of things. Let's not be so crazy. All right. Let's take a deep breath. Let's really focus on what counts, our love for one another, and move forward with another holiday. Folks, I love you, and I'll talk to you soon.